Prabhupada was fond of saying, what is the difficulty? And this is a really cool phrase. And I want to talk about it because I think this phrase can help us a lot. Because what Prabhupada is saying is, we come up with like complicated. How do you do this? It's so hard. It's so difficult. It's so difficult to understand. And Prabhupada's saying, what is the difficulty? And just with those 3 words, all of a sudden, seemed like there's no difficulty. Things are difficult, no doubt, but difficulty is relative, and it's relative to how we perceive it. It's relative to how we deal with it. But I remember many times devotees coming to Srila Prabhupada and they'd had very difficult problems, like, very, very sexually disturbed. They don't know how to control it. They're really up against the wall and trying to follow that principle strictly. And they came to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, it's just an itch, tolerate it. And I was thinking, okay, it's just an itch, tolerate it. I think 7 words, it's just an itch, tolerate it. 7 words to solve the whole entanglement of the material world, why we came here, why we're stuck in it. And sometimes when Prabhupada says something like that, it's like lights go off, and you think, oh, it's just an itch. That's all it is. And your problem looked like Mount Everest, and Prabhupada was like, his solution was like, no, it's not Mount Everest. It's a piece of dust. And you may think, wait a minute, that's like too easy. It's too simple. How can we just, overcome these huge problems? Well, I'm not going to say that it's always 100% certain that when you reduce a mountain to a piece of dust, you're going to conquer the problem, because obviously you can't always, it's not so easy to reduce it. If you reduce it to a piece of dust, you will conquer it. It's not always so easy to reduce it to a piece of dust. But I think it's important for us to understand from Prabhupada's perspective and analyzing problems, for him, they aren't big problems. So that's why Prabhupada would often say, when he would give a solution, he would say, so what is the difficulty? And to which, of course, all we could say is, there isn't any difficulty, Prabhupada, which we knew just meant, I'm the difficulty, because there isn't a difficulty other than me, there is no difficulty. I am the problem, I am the enemy. So are we overcomplicating things? Are things actually simpler than we believe? A lot of times they are, and a lot of times Prabhupada uses that strategy to make us realize, no, this is not such a big thing. Have you ever been in a situation where you're like, I got through this, this is so difficult, and people are looking at you like, it's not difficult. I don't know what you're talking about. And they're trying to explain, no, you just do this, and then you do that, and you're like, oh, that's all I have to do. Yeah, it's really simple. And you calm down, you go, okay, I think I can do it. That's kind of what Prabhupada's saying. So when you look at a problem as if it's like impossible to overcome, it's huge, huge, huge. How are you going to overcome it? So try to see if you can simplify it, bring it down and say, no, it's not so difficult. I can break it into component parts where it's like, okay, well, it's just an itch. And if I can tolerate the itch, then I'm doing pretty good here. And you're thinking, oh, that's way too simple. Anyway, that was Prabhupada's answer. And many answers are like that. But Prabhupada, you just do this. What's the problem? Just takes 2 hours to chant. What's the big thing? Take prasadam, dance, all recreation, all fun, only 4 principles, simple, just follow them. Okay, Prabhupada. And all of a sudden, he just makes it sound so simple, you do it. So when your mind is complicating things, think about, see how you can look at it and say, how can I simplify this so that I can actually see how I can do it? Because if you can't see how you can do it, you always fail. So let me simplify it in a way that makes it possible for me to look at this and say, oh, well, that's all I have to do is it's just an itch. Don't itch it. Boom. Okay. Sounds simple, right? Yeah. Get out of the material world. No problem. Just don't scratch. Okay, that's what Prabhupada said. Let's go with it. Hare Krishna.